street at night, shadows dancing in the pale moonlight, whispers calling but I turn away. Got no reason left for me to stay. The wind, it sings a broken tune. Memories fade like the dying moon. I'll keep running till the morning light. Leave the past behind and take flight. No more tears, no more goodbyes. Just the open road and endless skies. Footsteps echo on the empty ground. No more chains, no more sound. Heart is beating like a drum so free. Finally found this strength in me. The wind, it sings a broken tune. Memories fade like the dying moon. I'll keep running till the morning light. Leave the past behind and take flight. No more tears, no more goodbyes. Just the open road and endless skies. Unshaken by the storm or the sharpest flame, turning the fury of the wind to the test. The surprise is slow like a prayer in the dark, climbing rings of 1,000 cold years. History etched in the ridges of the bark, a map of the laughter and a trail of the tears. You stand while the kingdoms fall to dust, rooted in the marrow of the turning sphere, turning the sunlight into a green trust, growing beyond the borders of every fear. A monument of life within the gathering rest, the only truth that remains blooming here. You stand while the kingdoms fall to dust, rooted in the marrow of a turning sphere, turning the sunlight into aching trust, growing beyond the borders of every fear. A monument of life within the gathering rest, the only truth that remains blooming here. Clouds are heavy with a laden light, falling down the gutters of the night. I am standing where the asphalt bleeds, watching how the thirsty city feeds. Water hits the brim of my old hat, tapping out a coat upon the flat. Every drop is like a silver nail, driving home a long and lonely tale. And the sky is just a broken jar, spilling out its golden gray despair. Wash away the dust of who we are in the drowning chill of heavy air. Let it soak the marrow of the bone. Let it find the secrets left alone. Iron gates are rusting in the lane, singing to the rhythm of the strain. Steam is rising from the sewer grate, like a ghost that arrived little late. Windows stare like eyes that cannot see, blurring out the ghost of you and me. Mud is moving in a slow parade, down the hollow streets where debts are paid. The thunder is a drum without a skin, beating for the ones who stayed within. The lightning is a crack across the glass, waiting for the storm to finally pass. And the sky is just a broken jar, spilling out its cold and gray despair. Wash away the dust of who we are in the drowning chill of heavy air. Let it soak the shaking every window pane, waiting on the coming of the great dawn rain. I see the dust dancing on the empty road. Old man leaning on a rustic gate, hard to tell if it is love or hate. The roof is leaking on the kitchen floor, the dampness creeping through the pantry door. The crows are silent in the apple tree. Let it wash away the bitter dirt. Let it soothe the spirit and the hurt. Fall upon the valley and the hill until the turning of the watermill. Everything is silver and the world is stone. A little bird is shivering beneath the leaf. The day is shorter and the light is brief. Puddles form making the tractor tracks. The weight is lifting from our weary backs. The smell of ozone in the heavy air. Let it wash away the bitter dirt. Let it soothe the spirit and the hurt. Fall upon the valley and the hill until the turning of the watermill. Everything is silver and the world is stone. The match head scrapes against the rusted rail. A sudden spark turns the winter pale. It starts as a secret told in the dark, leaving behind a jagged black mark. The dry grass shivers as the heat begins to crawl, climbing the stones of the garden wall. It is the orange hunger that knows no name, taking the shadows and setting them aflame. What was once solid turns into thin air, a crown of gold for the brave to wear. Fire burning the history of the cold, fire turning the leading heart to gold. It dances on the ruins of the night, feeding on heavy things to make them light. A wild red river flowing through the street, turning the winter into a summer heat. The chimney coughs out a dragon's breath, life blooming from the ashes of death. The timber groans and the iron starts to bend. Every beginning is a burning end. Look at the way the smoke rides on the sky, the graying fading as the sparks fly high. It is the orange hunger that knows no name, taking the shadows and setting them aflame. What was once solid turns into thin air, a crown of gold for its brave to wear. vibrations of low frequency while the dust settles on the windowsill. I pull the heavy velvet across the glass to keep the remaining moonlight still. My heavy boots are resting by the door, scarred from the miles of concrete gray. The clock is ticking slower than before, dissolving every shadow of the day. I feel the tide rising up to my knees, surrendering the anchors of my mind. The ceiling fades into the ancient trees, leaving the heavy iron world behind. Into the deep in the hollow blue, where the silence is the only sound. I am drifting far away from you, with my feet no longer on the ground. Let the ink wash over every thought until the heavy frame begins to bend, finding the sanctuary that I sought, where the broken circles finally end. The radiator clicks inside the wall, a rhythmic pulse within the wooden frame. I listen to the winter petals fall, forgetting the vows of my name. The pillow is a cold and wide expanse, a desert where the weary travelers go to join the ghosts in their forgotten dance beneath the layers of the mantle snow. I feel the tide rising up to my knees, surrendering the anchors of my mind. The ceiling fades into the ancient trees, leaving the heavy iron world behind. Into the deep and the hollow blue, where the silence is the only sound. I am drifting far away from you, with my feet no longer on the ground. Let the ink wash over every thought until the heavy frame begins to bend, finding the sanctuary that I sought, where the broken circles finally end. Into the deep and the hollow blue, where the silence is the only sound. I am drifting far away from you, with my feet no longer on the ground. Let the ink wash over every foot until the heavy frame begins to bend, finding the sanctuary that I sought, where the broken circles finally end. The dust settles on the heavy windowsill. The coffee cup is cold and standing still. I find my keys inside the silver tray. The clock is ticking half the life away. The paint is peeling by the garden gate. The mail is piled in a messy state. I pull the collar of my denim coat and leave a simple pencil written note. Step across the line into the morning light, shaking off the shadow of the heavy night, moving past the fences and the gravel road, trading in the sorrow for a lighter load. No more staring at the four walls anymore, walking through the frame and out the open door. The highway hums a tune I used to know. The map is blank with miles left to go. The wind is catchy every word I say. I breathe the frantic motion of the air. The chains are breaking with a quiet sound. My feet are finally touching solid ground. The lock is turning and the bolt is free. I see the person that I meant to be. Shepherd crossed the line into the morning light, shaking off the shadow of a heavy night, moving past the fences and the gravel road, trading the sorrow for a lighter load. No more staring at the four walls anymore, walking through the frame and out the open door. Step across the line into the morning light, shaking off the shadow of a heavy night, moving past the fences and the gravel road, trading in the sorrow for a lighter load. No more staring at the four walls anymore, walking through the frame and out the open door. Buried deep where the worms keep their secrets, my skin tied to a rough grey heart, lifting fingers toward the pale ceiling, drinking cold heavy silver from the dirt. I forgot the sound of walking, I traded my breath for the stillness of stone. Stay rooted while the seasons go blind, hold the weight of the guy on a broken spine. The rings inside me are counting the scars of 1,000 winters and a billion stars. Stay rooted until the mountains dissolve. Stay rooted while the seasons go blind, hold the weight of the sky on a broken spine. The rings inside me are counting the scars of 1,000 winters and a billion stars. Stay rooted until the mountains dissolve. Birds carve their names in my hollow ribs. Lightning tasted like the end of the world, but I am the anchor of this shifting hill, while the restless ones wander to their graves. I remain in the center of the storm. Leaves fall like copper coins on a sacrifice for the coming white sleep. The wind tried to pull me from my throne, but my veins are tangled with the ancient heart. I am a monument that outlives the king. I am a shadow that never seeks the sun. Stay rooted while the seasons go blind, hold the weight of the sky on a broken spine. The rings inside me are counting the scars of 1,000 winters and a billion stars. Stay rooted until the mountains dissolve. Stay rooted while the seasons go blind, hold the weight of the sky on a broken spine. The rings inside me are counting the scars of thousand winters and a billion stars. Stay rooted until the mountains dissolve. Stay rooted until the mountains dissolve. The river knows no boundary in its sleep. The mountain cracks to let the secret out. A heavy sky begins its long descent to wash away the dust of every doubt. It gathers in the hollow of your palm, a mirror made of silver and of glass. The winter lake is breathing under ice, watching all the summer shadows pass, flowing through the marrow of the bone, drowning every seed that we have sown. It is the cradle and it is the grave, the silent master and the loyal slave, rising till the valley is a sea, setting every captive spirit free. The salt is stinging on the sailor's lip. The clouds are heavy with the weight of years. 1,000 miles of blue without a shore to swallow all the history of our tears. It carves a path through granite and through flint. It never asks for permission to remain. The desert dreams of nothing but the grave, the mercy and the madness of the rain, unfolding like a map across the sand, escaping from the hollow of the hand. It cannot be contained by lock or key, returning to the dark and ancient sea, flowing through the marrow of the dawn, drowning every seed that we have sown. It is the cradle and it is the grave, the silent master and the loyal slave, rising till the valley is a sea, setting every captive spirit free, flowing through the marrow of the bone, drowning every seed that we have sown. It is the cradle and it is the grave, the silent master and the loyal slave, rising till the valley is a sea, setting every captive spirit free. cuts through the gray. The heavy curtains pulled away. Just a simple nod across the street, where the asphalt and the sidewalk meet. No grand design or complex plan, just the motion of a reaching hand. The silence breaks like brittle glass, watching all the strangers pass. One word to bridge the wide divide, with nothing left for us to hide. Hello to the light and the pouring rain. Hello to the joy and the hidden pain. A single breath to start the flow, the only way for us to know. Hello to the world that spins so fast, finding something meant to last. I saw you standing by the door, not quite the same as once before. The dust has settled on the shelf, a quiet conversation with myself. Then the air began to shift and stir, leaving everything just as we were. The silence breaks like brittle glass, watching all the strangers pass. One word to bridge the wide divide, with nothing left for us to hide. Hello to the light and the pouring rain. Hello to the joy and the hidden pain. A single breath to start the flow, the only way for us to know. Hello to a world that spins so fast, finding something meant to last. Right out silent speech to a shadow leaning against the wall. I traded my coat for a glass of wine that tasted like copper in the rain. Everyone up waiting for a miracle to wash away the rust and stain. The blackbird is singing in the chimney, but the fire has long since gone cold. The stories told by the old man are the only things that don't grow old. I saw a man painting the wind blue. He said he wanted to capture the sky, but the wind blew through his fingers before he could even ask it why. The bells are ringing in the high tower, but the tower has no floor. The clock is ticking backwards now, right outside the heavy door. It is a heavy vision in a light head, a fever that won't let the body rest. Walking through a meal made of water, putting every hollow promise to the test. Just a flicker in the dark of a long night, away the sinker dragging on the floor, trying to find the key to the hallway that leads into the room without a door. The cobalt canopy is stretching wide, where gravity forgets to keep its hold. Above the jagged teeth of mountain peaks, the atmosphere begins to turn to cold. No borders drawn in ink can map this space. No fences climbed to touch the burning light. Just a heavy silence hanging in the air before the day is swallowed by the night. Oh, it is a vast and hollow temple now. The ceiling of the world is coming down. You can try to climb a ladder made of clouds, but you will never wear that as your crown. It is a mirror of the dust we leave behind, a kingdom that no mortal hand can own. The great blue vacuum staring at the earth, leaving every traveler alone. The birds are scratching lines across the void, like static on a screen that has no end. The wind is just a ghost without a voice, around a corner that will never bend. We look up seeking mercy from the glare, but find only a desert made of cold. A story written in a fading glare that remains forever to be told. exits fill tonight, watching the street lamps lose their fight. A silver needle threads the sky, stitching the clouds to the valley floor. The dust has folded its wings at last under the weight of the cooling glass. Watch the heavy salt from the wooden gate drag the thunder down like a heavy freight. Let the gutter sing what the throat forgets. Tear the lace from the summer silhouettes, falling like a hammer on a rusted bell, drawing the secrets from the limestone rail. Watch the heavy salt from the wooden gate drag the thunder down like a heavy freight. Let the gutter sing what the throat forgets. Tear the lace from the summer silhouettes, falling like a hammer on a rusted bell, drawing the secrets from the limestone rail. Iron handles turning cold and slick, the clockwork heart skips a jagged tick. Puddles blooming like mercury flowers, swallowing the minutes and the hollow hours. Shoes are heavy with the river mud, chasing the pulse of the sudden flood. The roof is strumming a jagged beat, laying a shroud on the empty street. The horizon cracks with a jagged spine, turning the water into bitter wine. Watch the heavy salt from the wooden gate drag the thunder down like a levee freight. Let the gutter sing what the throat forgets. Tear the lace from the summer silhouettes, falling like a hammer on a mustard bay, drawing the secrets from the limestone well. Wash the heavy salt from the wooden gate drag the thunder down like a heavy freight. Let the gutter sing what the throat forgets. Tear the lace from the summer silhouettes, falling like a hammer on a rusted bay, drawing the secrets from the limestone well. Wash the heavy salt from the wooden gate drag the thunder down like a heavy freight. Let the gutter sing what the throat forgets. Tear the lace in the summer silhouettes, falling like a hammer on a rusted bell, drawing the secrets from the limestone well. Deep roots stream from the silent clay, skin scarred by the light of day. I stand where the heavy shadows sleep. Promises are the only things I keep. My knuckles white against the rushing gale, a wooden mask without a cotton sail. I watch the seasons burn into the ground, listening for a lost and lonely sound. The gravity pulls at every reaching limb. The horizon line is getting sharp and slim. I stretch my fingers to the fading blue, waiting for the morning to break through. I am the anchor in the shifting sand, a steady pulse across a hollow land. Count the circles etched inside my chest, where the weary travelers come to rest. Strong enough to bend but never break, living for the breath that I can take. my tangled hair,
then vanish into the thin and freezing air.
I feel the water climbing through my veins,
absorbing all the thunder and the rays.
The asphalt crawls toward my rugged feet,
the city turns its collar to the heat,
but I have time that no one else can buy.
Underneath this vast and open sky, the gravity pulls at every reaching limb. The horizon line is getting sharp and slim. I stretch my fingers to the fading blue, waiting for the morning to break through. I am the anchor in the shifting sand, the steady pulse across a hollow land. Count the circles etched inside my chest, where the weary travelers come to rest. Strong enough to bend but never break, living for the breath that I can take. Where the weary travelers come to rest, strong enough to bend but never break, living for the breath that I can take. I am the anchor, living for the breath that I can take.
But the surface is hard and the edges are keen, witness to secrets that no one has seen. You can throw it away or build up a wall that waits for the empires and seasons to fall. Ancient dust settles deep on the silent bridge. Cold to the hush, but burning in the sun. The dust settles on the windowsill of the morning, where the gray light filters through the cracked pane. I am sitting with the ghosts of my old intentions, watching the sky turn from lead to a duller stain. I have been measuring the distance in steady heartbeats between the silence here and the thunder on the plains. You told me once that the road was a long forgetting, but I found every pebble has a memory of its own. I am carrying a lantern with a flickering wick, walking through fields where the wild thistles have grown. The iron gate is rusted shut by the heavy seasons, yet I am looking for the key that the wind has blown. Hoping is a jagged pill that stays in the throat, a ragged sail on a leaking wooden boat. It is the shadow of a bird on a frozen lake, a promise that the brittle ice will never break. I am leaning on the air where the ladder used to be, waiting for the tide to bring the salt back to the sea. The prophets are all sleeping in the back of the bus. Their pockets are filled with copper and rain. I asked the driver if we were getting any closer, but he just stared at the tracks through the window pane. The radio is humming a tune with no beginning, just a low vibration underneath the phantom pain. The clock on the wall is a circle of broken teeth, chewing on the seconds that we tried to save. I saw a reflection in a puddle by the station of a man who stopped digging his own shallow grave. He was looking at the clouds like they were heavy curtains about to pull back for the very first wave. It is not a hunger that can be fed by bread, or a story that ends when the final word is read. It is a thin gold thread in a garment of black, the only thing that keeps me from turning back. Hoping is a jagged pill that stays in the throat, a ragged sail on a leaking wooden boat. It is the shadow of a bird on a frozen lake, a promise that the brittle ice will never break. I am leaning on the air where the ladder used to be, waiting for the tide to bring the salt back to the sea. The silver dust upon the window ledge, 1,000 miles above the jagged edge. You hum yourself amidst the velvet black, with no intention of ever looking back. The telescope is cold against my eye, tracing lonely scribbles through the sky. A frozen spark from centuries ago, still shining with the heat. You'll never know that gravity's pulling at your seams to light the wreckage of a sailor's dreams. I watch the way you burn until you're blue, a ghost of fire that's finally breaking through. The prophets used to name you in their prayers before we built these iron climbing stairs. Now you're a signal blinking in the void, a tiny piece of grace not yet destroyed. The maps are redrawn every single night, but you remain the same unending side. Shadows stretch across the empty plains until the dawn begins to break the chains. But long before the sun takes up the throne, you stand your vigil on your own. You are the needle in the cosmic vein, the only diamond that can feel the stand like pillars in the grave, double time ticking while the shadows play. A repetitive pattern carved in stone, the silent language of the unknown. Twice the vision and twice the spark, tracing the outlines in the dark. Mirror images of a jagged line, waiting for the stars to align. Echoes of the same sharp sound, feet heavy on the frozen ground. Parallel paths that never bend, searching for a star without an end. Structured balance in a frantic world, banners of the twin signs unfurled, solid as a mountain built of glass, watching the empty seasons pass. T-T-E-E, burden through the night, two flames flickering out of sight. The rhythm of the heart in a steady beat, walking down an whispers of a secret name, feeding the hunger and the slain, calculating movements in a square, breathing in a thin and cold air, a blueprint for a life reborn between the velvet and the thorn. T-T-E-E, burning through the night to a flame flickering out of sight, the rhythm of the heart in a steady beat, walking down a narrow one-way street. T-T-E-E, etched up on the wall, waiting for the heavy rain to fall. Double strength and double the pain, trying to break the iron chain. T-T-E-E, breathing in the dust, a silver crown beginning to rise. The logic of the past stays strong, right where the broken pieces belong. T-T-E-E, ringing in my head, words now are meant to stay unsaid. Hold the line until the morning light. Everything is heavy and everything is bright. The ice is thinning on the window pane while the radiator hums a low refrain. I watch the frost retreat into the wood, thinking of the things we misunderstood. Now the mud is heavy where the snow once lay, and the sky is turning a lighter shade of gray. The crocus pushes through the hardened clay like a memory that refused to fade away. The trees are skeletal and reaching high, tracing jagged lines across the morning sky. I can smell the dampness of the waking earth, witnessing the struggle of a quiet bird. But the wheel keeps turning and the shadows grow long. The sunlight moves like a half-forgotten song, from the deepest cold to the heat of the day. Every golden hour eventually slips away. There is a rhythm in the changing of a light that carries us through the middle of the night. The heavy leaves are drooping in the haze, lost within the humid and the golden maze. The heavy leaves are drooping in the haze, lost within the humid and the golden maze. The riverbed is showing stones of white, baking in the glare of the relentless light. We sat beneath the oak and watched the dust, turning all our iron tools to ore and trust.